welcome. My name is Chris from ChristopherHole.com, and welcome to this next video. This is a little bit of a follow-up to the deadlift video that I did, and we're going to be talking about core training. Now, obviously, in the deadlift video, I was talking about how the deadlift isn't necessarily a back exercise, it's a hip and hamstring exercise, and I said I would try and explain core training in a little bit more detail. So that's what I'm going to sort of do in this short video. Again, it is a short video. I'm not expecting to maybe change the minds of all the non-believers, but if you do your research, you'll be able to find out that what I'm saying does hold some weight and it is useful information. So I guess sort of my background in this, I am strength and conditioning qualified, so it's very much based on that. It's not necessarily there for aesthetics. It's more a core performance type of training that I'm talking about. So I guess that's the one thing that I need to make clear, because if you want aesthetics, then you train it in a certain way. If you want performance, then you train it in a certain way, and that's the one I'm going to be talking about. So what we've got here is the 4 secrets of core training. Now, the first one is the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Now, what that basically means, as you can see on these pictures here, you've got many muscles and they all track in slightly different directions. So you've got the lats coming across here, you've got the traps going across there, abdominals coming straight up and down, internal and external obliques going across the side there. You've even got the glutes, the thoracolumbar fascia there. So you've got all of these different muscles traveling in all these different directions, let's say. So what they create is a bit like a carbon fiber like structure. You've got all these fibers that are in some ways kind of going against each other and running in different directions. Now, when we contract all of these muscles together, they create a unit that is stronger than the sum of its parts. So if we were to contract the abdominals and then do in a different movement contract the obliques, that will create a certain amount of force. Now, if we contract them all together, it creates a force that is greater than all the muscles working individually would add up to, if that makes sense. So what we're trying to do is create one solid unit rather than lots of muscles working and trying to work at the same time, because what most people sort of misinterpret is that if you've got really strong abdominals, then your core's strong, or if you've got really strong abdominals and erector spinae, then your core's strong. If you can do lots of sit-ups, then you think your core's strong. That's not necessarily the like completely true. What gives us a strong core is that one unit with all the muscles contracting together. The second one is it's there to prevent movement. The big muscles of the body and the big movement creating muscles of the body are the pectorals, the lats, the glutes. All of these muscles are there to move our moving joints, the ball and socket joints. If you even look at the spine, it's known as a cartilaginous joint, which is a slightly movable joint. It's not there for lots of movement, i.e. sit-ups, side bends, oblique twists, back extensions, so on and so forth. It's not there for that. Your core, so all of these muscles here, you know, even deeper, your QL, your transverse abdominis, your multifidus, all these other muscles as well work to create that one unit, which will create the sum greater than its individual parts. What that does is that prevents movement. So when we generate a lot of force from our hips or from our lats or from our pecs, the core is then, as we move on to the third one, it's there to transfer that force or energy that's produced. If the spine bends, i.e. if there's a weakness in the core, the energy leaks out. So if we were to generate 100 units of force in the hips, as we were lifting a barbell, for instance, if we were lifting that barbell and all of a sudden the spine starts to bend, the force generated in the hips is lost out of that bend. So what we're trying to do is keep a rigid, strong core which the ball and socket joints can move off of. And the final one is contract, relax, contract. Now, this comes onto a little bit more, again, on sort of performance, but more to do with like specific movements. So the first one I'll use is Olympic lifting. Now, Olympic lifting, so let's just take the clean and jerk. Now, the clean and jerk, you would move the bar from the floor to above your head. So we've got to try and do it in the most efficient way. So how the lifter does that is they contract fully right at the bottom of the movement. As the bar is lifted, all of their muscles start to relax. They don't relax fully, but they start to relax. As they catch the bar and drop underneath the bar and then catch the bar, all of their muscles contract again. They then obviously squat the bar up, and then when they go for the jerk, again, it's a high contraction. The bar moves up, their body moves down as they relax, and then as they catch the bar at the top, it's another big contraction. So that's the Olympic lifting example. The other one is the golf swing. You can do this in many different examples, but I'm just going to use these two. The next one is the golf swing. Now, obviously the golf swing, they do their wind up. So they sort of wind and coil up their spine. What they then do is one big contraction of the muscles of the core and obviously of the movement joint in the hip, because that's where they get their power from. But as they generate the power in the hips, the core locks in. That then creates a nice, fluid, smooth swing, which is when their muscles start to relax. And as their muscles start to relax, they do their swing, and then as they hit the ball, the muscles contract again, but only very gently because it doesn't need to be a big contraction. Olympic lifting needs to be a very big contraction. A golf swing just needs to be a very sort of very quick and light contraction because the movement isn't as sort of forceful or as extreme. So those are my sort of 4 secrets of core training, but we have to remember it's performance core training. So there is some degree of function to it, not aesthetics. So many thanks for watching. My name is Chris. I will speak to you in a future video.